I've been looking at this Slices of Life template that came out in July 2020, but at that time I did not purchase it, and now I kind of want to make it so I can recreate this using our Creative Memories tools. I've sketched out the design using my pencil end. The biggest challenge with this one, again, with most of the templates, is they do have that 1/8 grid along all the lines, so we have to recreate that on the axes. The template again starts with your 1/2 inch frame. It's going to have 4 main corners cut diagonally and a large circle and a small circle. To create all this, my inner circle, I am going to use my larger circles of my custom cutting system, and to get the 3-inch I'll be cutting with the blue blade on the inside. I will be using my repositional adhesive while I'm working. I'll be using my Creative Memories circle cutter, and I will be using my zero centering ruler to help me keep everything justified on the page. And I will be using my Creative Memories 12-inch trimmer. And as well, for the outer cuts on guide sheet that I created, I will attach a link in the post if you want to make one of these yourself. So if we're all set to go, I will see how well we do. Again, you're going to start with your 11 by 11 sheet of paper, so you're going to take off your 1/2 inch frame. You can do a full frame the way I've done here, or you can just cut your paper down to 11 by 11. I like the full frame because I can put my template page on one side and then put my frame on the opposite page to bring the color across, and I can do a nice feature photo on this side and a collage of photos on that topic on the second page for my 2-page spread. We're going to start by centering our 11 by 11 inch page on our 13 by 13 mat. So in order to make your 3-inch cut, you'll want to center your larger of your custom cutting system rings on your page. In the past, I have placed my ring directly on my mat in the grooves I marked where all my key axes were, so it's easy to line up again to center that. If I center my zero centering ruler on the page horizontally, make sure those lines mark up, and again in the vertical direction, I will have my center cut. So the first thing I want to do is take out that center piece. And this will help me with my placement at the end. And there we have it. Next, we are going to take our personal trimmer. Because this is an 11-inch piece, our halfway point is going to be 5.5 inch mark. So lining up to the 5.5 inch mark, I'm going to cut in one direction. You can now stack these and cut again in the other direction. Now I have my 4 corners. I can stack all these again. And from here, it's where on my 2 outside edges, I want to take it down 1/8 of an inch on each side. So 1/8 again is from your cut line out to the second hash mark line. So I'm going to go down the one side, take that one off, rotate, and then do that again to the second cut line, and we're all set. Once I have that done, I do want to go across my diagonal on this line. So I'm going to go across my 45-degree line here. Going to line up my point at the top along the 45, and that should give me my perfect cut at my diagonals. So now I have all my new pieces to put my center back together. So as you can see here, as I place these pieces back on the page, if I pull back to my outside 11-inch line, I will create automatically those grid lines in between the spaces. In order for these not to slide around as I'm doing my big cuts, I am going to take some of my repositional tape and I'm just going to place them across the mat in my strategic corner areas. And it's somewhere around here where my cuts are going to be. And I'm just going to tack these pieces down again so they don't slide on me as I'm doing my other cuts. So they're all set in place. All right, so I'll continue with the rest of that, and then we'll go on to the next step. So all of these have been fixed down on the mat. You can see the spacing in between the lines. Next step is the circle cutter to cut my outside arches. This will require 4 cuts to give me my little spacing grooves. And those are going to be at the 11-inch, the 10.8, the 9, and the 8.8. In order to facilitate this, I am going to use my zero centering guide grid. I'm going to line it up on my page just like so, and that will be where the center of my cutter is. I'm going to slide my cutter out to the 11-inch mark and hold that in place. Again, your magnifying glass will go across this line here, and your cutter is going to be centered on your page. I'm just going to come up above the camera here for a bit so I can see better. When I'm sitting, I don't get that direct overview that I like. But if I can't put my head under the camera. All right, our 11-inch cut is in place. I'm holding it down, I'm releasing my blade, and I'm slowly going to go across all my pieces. Because it's a rolling blade, it should go over all the little bits quite easily. And that will be my first cut. Now you can, before you release everything, release your end, slide into the 10.8, marking, and tighten it down again and go again. If you find it very difficult to manipulate, you have your centering grid sheet down there to help you. So if it comes off, you can reposition without messing up your whole cuts. I may have to start moving these to my grid sheet on the side as they slide off. because you have a lot of loose pieces, do not go fast on this part. Coming from this direction on this side. You ready to come off? Yes, you are. There we are. You are. There we are. Make sure we got all this across here. You're loose. You're loose. I believe all my outside cuts are now done. Take you away. Take you away. You can save these little pieces as you take them off for your spacing when you put them back on your page. Because it's a perfect circle, you really only need one. Make sure all these are cut nicely. You're done. And you're done. Great. So our next cut going down will be at the 9-inch mark. So I'm going to come across here and I'm going to slide that down to the 9-inch mark. And away we go. And once that's all set, I'm going to go one more time at the 8.8 mark. Down. And now all your cuts are done, you are ready to reassemble. I've set my layout the way I want my pattern to be. I've flipped all the pieces over and applied the adhesive, so I am now all set to put the pieces back on my page. For my background, I've decided to go with the Autumn Shimmer. I'm going to use my zero centering ruler to give me my first 1/2 inch offset for placement of my first piece. I am using the Creative Memories repositionable tape for this in case I have to shimmy some pieces around. So we're going with piece number 1, my 1/2 inch offset. There we go. Running piece on the other side. Right about there. Come down here to the bottom. And I'll continue my way around, all the way around. And there we have it. Now to add photos, and I'll show you my final product. Here is my completed layout. I do have all the cuts in this one to show you how the slices of life template worked. Had I been doing this one myself, I probably just would have kept the big circle in the middle, the green circle, and these parts without doing all the additional cuts. To finish this layout, I did take the frame that I cut out to start this sketch, making my 11 by 11 inch piece of paper, and I put it on my corresponding second page. The inside I swapped out with an embellishment from my travel paper kit, and the inside circle that was here, I flipped it over and again brought the color over onto my second page. The final border here, I did use the Spring Leaf Border Maker cartridge, and that one I like because once you punch it you can cut it in half and it makes a nice little accent finish. So let me zoom out here and I will show you both pages together. And there we have it, your slice of life template, or any of the templates. It does make a nice feature page to start things off, and if you slide the frame over to your second page, it coordinates the colors over really nicely. I like the way the autumn shimmer paper worked out on the back end. So another layout done. We'll see you again next time.